On the most recent production, we introduced what we call the media blackout, which is when all communication between everyone on the project stopped for an announced and specific period of time. So some were 12 hours, some were from Friday evening until Sunday evening. Then the longest one that we did was when at the start of a hiatus, when we started at 9 o'clock on the Friday and then finished at 9 a.m. on the Wednesday. The way the media blackout was set up was after initial discussions with the production company, the producer and the director. We then chatted to the HODs to let them know that we were going to do it, and then announced it to all the cast and crew via emails and call sheets in advance of the time period or the days when we were going to implement it. We were 4 weeks into the shoot. We were out on the marshes on the Essex coast. The crew were being, and the cast were being battered with the wind and the rain and the various other elements. Everyone was standing all day. Then we were going back to a hotel room at night. We weren't going back to our homes. We were in a quarantine hotel, and everyone was just constantly on, it felt. And so it went from a suggestion that the director, we maybe asked the HODs not to communicate with the director for a short period of time, to then very quickly expanding to it being of great value to the whole cast and the whole crew to have a period where there was no communication, no electronic communication, and that's where the media blackout came from. There's obviously the initial concern from the crew and the HODs that they might not be able to communicate things that they need to get urgently. So we alleviated that by saying that in an emergency, then they would phone contact would be allowed, but it would be one person phone call, not group phone calls, in order to get the information that you required. But I think that the key thing for us was also about timing of the blackout, so that we did it when we were going back to the same location. We did it, for one day over a weekend. We did it when we'd have a 3-day, when we'd have a run of 3 days off. We did it far enough into the shoot at times when the departments had all been working together for long enough so that there wasn't constant communication that was required between everyone. I guess whenever there's talk about the requirements to address something or introduce something new within an organisation, one of the things that has to be discussed is the financial implications of it. While the likes of the reducing the working hours and guaranteeing bank holidays off or regular hiatuses and full-time mental health and crew or departments is a much bigger conversation in cost, most of the things that we did and the services we offered cost a tiny amount in relation to the overall budget. They were more to do with enrolling the cast and crew. Once you're aware of a problem, to ignore that problem is irresponsible. And I think that there is so many people that are involved in a production that it would take a lot for a production to ignore mental health if it was raised by one person, even one person on that set, no matter what position they're in. And so I think going forward, it's about not so much about shaming people into how little they're doing, it's about enrolling individual productions in what they can do, what even small measures they're capable of doing that could have a positive impact on mental health for the cast and the crew that are involved in their project.